Coming right up, Straight Talk with Art Levine. Our guest tonight, the Chancellor of the California State University System, Dr. Charles Reed, as we continue our 20th anniversary year.
Closed captioning provided by Scan Health Plan.
Opinions expressed in the following program do not necessarily reflect the views of Charter Communications nor its sponsors. We recognize our obligation to present opposing points of view by responsible spokespersons. For information, please contact the Director of Program.
She stands in the face of evil and will not lose hope or faith. America, the land of freedom, is still the home of the brave. So raise the banner, call no glory. Let us join our fellow man. History will write the story. America will always stand.
Straight Talk is brought to you in part by Southern California Edison. For over 100 years, life powered by Edison. The Press Telegram, your local news leader for over 100 years.
Join us for tonight's edition of Straight Talk. And now your host, Art Levine.
Good evening and welcome to Straight Talk. We have a great show for you tonight. Our guest for the entire show is the Chancellor of the CSU system, Dr. Charles Reed. Charlie, welcome to our show.
Thank you for inviting me, and congratulations to you on the 20th anniversary of this show. Art, you have really performed a great service for this community.
Thank you, Chancellor. Thank you so much for that. I want to give our guests at home a sense of the enormity of the operation which Charlie, as Chancellor, runs. This is the largest higher education system in America. It has 46,000 faculty and staff, about 450,000 students, 23 campuses, and a $5 billion budget. This is a huge operation.
It is, but it's a very important operation for the public good of California. And so I enjoy every day working for the CSU and working for the students and the faculty.
And you are celebrating an anniversary. It's the 50th anniversary of the CSU system.
It is the 50th anniversary. The Donahue Act was passed back in the 1960s, and then Clark Kerr created the California Master Plan. And I might say, that the Master Plan for California laid out what the University of California is to do in serving the people and what CSU and the community colleges are to do. The only thing that I want to say about the Master Plan is it's still good, but the only thing is they have forgotten to fund it the way they used to. Yeah. So that really makes us struggle to achieve what's in the Master Plan.
And you have been facing budget cutbacks year after year. Students have felt it, faculty have felt it. Give us a sense of where we stand budget-wise.
I'll give you a sense. I came to California in 1997, and the budget that we have this year is the same budget that we had in 1997. But we have 70,000 more students today than we did in 1997. So we are one of the most efficient and effective university systems in this country.
But there's been a change in the public's and the taxpayers' role in funding. We've gone from basically almost 100% state funded to now, what, 2/3?
No, Art, I'm sorry to tell you, it's almost 50-50.
Wow.
Actually, it's 55 state, 45 from tuition. So the state public policymakers have backed off of their commitment over the last several years.
And that cutback has resulted in major fundraising efforts by campuses to get money from the private sector, and of course, and unfortunately, substantial increase in tuition.
That is true, although the California State University is still probably one of the best deals in America. Our tuition this year is about $5,000. The national average tuition is $8,500, so we're still a good bargain.
We are indeed, and it always seemed to me appropriate for students to pay, I thought maybe a third of the total, but now it's gone up above that.
The Carnegie Commission used to make that recommendation, Art, that it ought to be a 70-30 split. But all around the country, higher education has suffered because of the other demands on state budgets. And the demands have mostly come from the healthcare area and, frankly, prison reform.
Prisons. And President Alexander from CSULB has said on this show and elsewhere, it seems ridiculous we're spending more money on prisons than on students.
That's true. The prison budget is larger than both UC and CSU budgets together. Now that is shameful.
And it also costs more to keep someone in prison for a year, $50,000, than to send them to Harvard. No less CSULB.
Yeah, CSU's funding is about $10,000 a year. And as you said, to send somebody to prison, it's about $50,000. But if you're over the age of 75 and you're still in prison, that gets close to $200,000 to keep you because of all the health care costs.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole nother issue which we'll address in a different show. But let me just go out for the record here. There was a lot of publicity about an increase granted to the president of San Diego State, who came aboard at a $100,000 higher salary than his predecessor. So technically it wasn't an increase. This is a new hire, but he came in at $100,000 more, $50,000 of which was paid by the foundation down there. And there was a lot of criticism about that. I want to give you a chance to respond.
Art, one, I appreciate you, straightening out how the math worked. We did increase the compensation from the state from $300,000 to $350,000. The current president, who had been at San Diego State for 15 years, had not had a pay raise for 5 years. So I think there was a loss of competition then. And then we asked the foundation to use private funding to make up the other $50,000. Now, I just want to say this. We just completed a study of all the president's compensation in California for all 23 of our campuses. And I can tell you that we pay our presidents in the bottom 1/3 of the United States. And I know this, if you're going to be competitive, if you're going to get the very best, because the students, the faculty, the staff, and the community deserve the very best leadership that we can find, you're going to have to pay for that.
Well, I take your point about the importance of good leadership. We certainly see it here at Long Beach State. However, it was unfortunate that at the same meeting that this increase was approved, so was a 12% increase in student tuitions, which was the second increase in the year, which totaled collectively 27%. So the press headlines was at the same meeting, 27% increase in tuition, and the president's getting a $100,000 raise.
Art, I'm a straight at you guy. I don't hide the ball. The policy that the board has says that at the very next meeting after a new president is selected, we will put on that meeting in the public their compensation. 2 weeks before the board meeting that occurred, the legislature cut the California State University budget $150 million more. July 1 was coming and we needed to open up and we had to do something, and so I'm going to make the tough kind of decision that I made and take the criticism that came with it. I agree with you, but it would have been dishonest for me not to put that on the agenda.
And as you know, Senator Ted Lieu, who wrote a letter to the editor to the a letter to the president of your board, which we reprinted here, has introduced a bill that would limit presidential increases without legislative involvement.
Well,
what do you think of that idea?
Well, I don't think it's a very good idea, number one. Number two, none of those bills moved at the end of the session. Number three, the chair of our board set up a board committee to address these issues, and we will do that in December and in January.
Very good. And we'll be continuing our conversation with the Chancellor after these messages.
Supported by Edison International. Californians are getting to be old hands at year-round energy conservation, part of our special awareness of the resources we all depend on. We're making the change to energy-efficient light bulbs, keeping warm weather thermostats set to a comfortable 78 degrees, and giving major appliances the afternoon off. Because when it comes to energy conservation, it all adds up. Life, powered by Edison.
This is Doug Albrecht sharing with you just one of the 100 centennial moments we chose to mark this special occasion. The Port of Long Beach was born when Charles Wyndham purchased 800 acres of mudflats in the San Pedro Bay, where the LA River meets the sea. Today, the port covers 3,200 acres of land and spans 35 miles of waterfront.
I want to improve my career opportunities.
I want to earn a higher salary at my job.
I'd like to finish what I started.
The new Bachelor of Arts in Liberal Arts degree completion program at Cal State Long Beach will help you achieve your educational goals while keeping your life in balance. Contact our customer service center at 1-800-963-2250 for more information, or visit us on the web. Let CSULB help you finish what you started.
As your business searches for smart ways to save, don't forget about the one that's right in front of you. Switch to the Charter Business Bundle and you can save big without sacrificing a thing. Get reliable business telephone and high-speed internet with local support and great features. Power your business with great savings starting today. It's easy to pay less and get more. Call now and make a switch to the Charter Business Bundle.